Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. This video is a general review, looking at this car's customization and performance. Any personal thoughts I share are subjective in nature, and remember, your experience with the car will likely be different from mine. This review is not a tier list, nor is it a guide on what is meta. The main goal is to objectively show you the car's features so that you can decide for yourself if it is worth pulling for. Overall, don't roll because it is meta. Roll because you like the car or what you learn here about how it behaves. The decision is yours to make, not anyone else's to dictate to you. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Have you ever imagined what it'd be like if humanity's last hope against extinction by titans wasn't the attack titan, but a Nissan GT-R? Have you ever thought about how good or bad of an idea it is to bump an already existing, exclusive, pay-to-own car with beef stats and the limited time privilege of letting anyone own it? Yet, no one complained about the BRZ and GR86 having its own thing? Then let me tell you why you should, or should have rolled, for the 2018 Nissan GT-R R35 Winds of Freedom Edition.
その日、人類は思い出した。奴らに支配されていた恐怖。
Welcome to Why You Should, where FOMO, which you thought was the last of your worries, makes its grand appearance like the fall of Wall Maria. Do note that whatever I say about the car doesn't reflect on its overall performance in its entirety with regards to performance in comparison to other vehicles in the game. If you're here because you love biting your palms, hoping to become big and the next naked titan that RM makes you think you are for being a meta slave, smash that like button, share this with your fellow RM drivers, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a pull-worthy pick. The Nissan GT-R Winds of Freedom Edition is more than just another R35. Built as a collaboration exclusive homage to the Attack on Titan collab, and possibly to celebrate the R35's production end, this special edition blends the heritage of Nissan's legendary GT-R logo with anime flair. Its design references the Jetwing R35 body kit and the Survey Corps logo's iconic silver and blue colors. While it doesn't transform into a Titan per se, it stands as a unique standalone vehicle, a free-to-play accessible, limited-time GT-R that will never return outside of this collab. Weighing in at 1784 kilos and powered by a 600 horsepower 3.8-liter twin-turbo V6 with all-wheel drive, the Winds of Freedom GT-R takes everything the original R35 had and pushed it even further. While its gearbox feels bloated and its understeer tendencies are much harsher, it claws back with better grip driving and sharper corner entry response. Top speed also gets a healthy bump past 330, making it the fastest R35 variant in Racing Master Sports Class. If you could get it to that speed. The Winds of Freedom GT-R comes locked with a body kit based on the Jetwing R35 body kit. While its livery can be stripped and its rim swapped, the overall aero package is fixed. Individual paint options exist for the hood, roof, windows, headlights, and side mirrors, giving it at least some flexibility on top of livery creation. Its supposed crown jewel is the Attack on Titan Survey Corps' themed skin, a collaboration exclusive alternate look that can be obtained through the event's gacha shop. The only questionable thing is, how is it labeled a body kit when it's just an alternate livery's reskin? It is something we never got an answer to that mystery, just like the Jaeger's basement. The original R35 review didn't cover much in the pros and cons in detail, so we'll use the OG's R35's pros and cons as the main benchmark basis for the R35 Winds of Freedom Edition's pros and cons. The Winds of Freedom GTR inherits the OG R35's hyperlaunch and absurd hyper-acceleration, but it stretches the super acceleration cap from the OG's 205 to the Winds of Freedom's 215 km per hour cap limit, making it punch harder for longer. Its all-wheel drive system makes drifting responsive once initiated, while handling tweaks make it better suited for grip driving. While the OG does better at corner exit, the Winds of Freedom R35 does pretty well on corner entry, provided you angle them correctly into the corner. Unlike the OG R35, however, its massive acceleration stall, if you could actually see it against the other R35s or an RS7, makes stalls at launch nearly non-existent for the Winds of Freedom edition. Past its super acceleration cap, the Winds of Freedom GTR suffers just like the OG, halving its acceleration output beyond the cap. Its bloated gearbox and increased understeer after the apex make it more punishing to handle, especially when overcommitting into a corner. Red drift penalty hits really harder here than on the OG R35, given it is forcing players to rely heavily on red drift angles just to counter its stubborn handling physics. While it feels faster overall, its handling makes it a tougher beast to tame. The recommended tuning setup for the R35 Winds of Freedom is no different actually to the OG R35 setup, which is 23332. This tune balances out acceleration boost with slight reductions in handling for added stability. The key here is the low angle drift boost from this tune, which is critical to both GTRs. For the Winds of Freedom, it helps keep the nose biting into the corners prior to the apex while living in red drift zones, while the OG uses it for more post-apex recovery. When driving the R35 Winds of Freedom edition, do take note of the following. Primarily, forget everything you know about the OG R35 when it comes to cornering. The Winds of Freedom version demands a different approach. Drive with deliberate red drift reliance to push through its understeer, often staying longer in red drift to keep the front end turning. Brake early and extend your deceleration phase for smoother corner entry prior to the apex. Stick to Gear 2 around corners from entry through the apex to maintain grip. Even at low RPMs, salvaging control where brute acceleration just fails. Unlike the OG, however, you will not be rewarded for sharp exits. It's all about that patience and managing the car's weight mid-turn. The straight line hyper acceleration will actually fix that. The Nissan GTR Winds of Freedom Edition is not just a fan service collab car. It's a bold reimagining of the R35 platform, fusing anime culture with racing pedigree. Stronger, faster, and heavier-handed than the OG R35, it rewards aggressive red drift driving and punishes those who try to tame it with restraint. For players lucky enough to claim it, the Winds of Freedom GTR is a living monument to both Nissan's GTR heritage and one of anime's greatest legacies. A legacy that encourages you to Shinzo Sasageo! But that's just my take. What car do you want to see me break down next? And if you roll for the R35 Winds of Freedom Edition, drop your experience in the comments. Help out the ones still on the fence or kicking themselves for skipping it. While you're here, hit like if this helped, share it with your corpse unit, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. This is Miyogi saying see you guys on the next roll.